This video is a beginner's guide to the CSS Current Affairs exam. We're going to start off by talking about the international arena and what shapes current affairs. Current affairs basically means what is happening currently in the international arena. So we're going to start off by talking about who or what holds importance in the international arena. The following 3 pointers tell you what holds power and thus sways international affairs, which is why they are important to study for the current affairs exam. Firstly, you need to study countries. You need to study what countries are doing, their actions, because whatever their actions are, they have an effect on each and every other country. So if you take the United States, for example, because it is the sole superpower, whatever the US does has an effect on the world globally. So, for example, when the US invaded Afghanistan, it had an effect. Pakistan then became a frontline state to the war on terror. When, for example, the US imposes taxes on a country, like it did with China during the trade war, the US-China trade war, it had an effect on the global world because there was a lot of panic about the global economy. So whatever countries do, their actions have an effect on international affairs, and thus because international affairs is a part of current affairs, it is important to study this. Then you've got international bodies. Whatever the actions of international bodies are important to study. For example, what is the UN doing at the moment? What is the UN's opinion, or what are the actions that the UN is taking against, for example, Myanmar about the Rohingya crisis? Then you've got what is the UN doing about climate change? The UN with the help of the UN, the Paris Agreement came into force. So things that the United Nations does is important. And then number 3, you've got individuals who have influence. The actions of whatever leaders are doing holds importance. For example, leaders such as the US president or any other president. And then you've got prime ministers, diplomats, activists, these are individuals who have an influence on in the international arena, and thus what you need to study for the current affairs exam is in 2 parts: international affairs, and then you've got Pakistan affairs. This is news that affects Pakistan. Everything else, relations of other countries, comes under international affairs, but Pakistan's relations with other countries comes under Pakistan affairs. So this is news that affects Pakistan. For example, Pakistan-India relations, Pakistan-Afghanistan relations, Pakistan-China relations, Pakistan's relations with its neighbors, Pakistan's relations with other countries. These are all part of the current affairs exam. And then whatever is left, for example, relations of countries with each other, for example, US-China relations, that's part of the international affairs bit and is going to be a part of the CSS Current Affairs exam. In this slide, we're going to discuss what our country is doing, and this question actually emphasizes what shapes the international arena and what shapes current affairs. So how do the actions of countries affect another country? What are countries doing? And what is Pakistan doing? How is Pakistan reacting? How are other countries threatening Pakistan, etc.? News like this is going to be a part of the current affairs exam. And what affects Pakistan? So in front of me, I've got the map of Pakistan, and then as you can see, you've got Afghanistan on the left, India on the right, China on top, Iran on the left. So any news that affects Pakistan as a whole, which includes Pakistan's relations with neighbors, Pakistan's relations with other countries, Pakistan and its interaction with the international bodies, is a part of the current affairs exam. What you need to note, however, is that Pakistan's national problems are not included in current affairs. They're included in Pakistan affairs, which is a separate exam. So these are topics such as water issue, corruption, and money laundering. That's a part of national affairs, and that is a part of that is not a part of current affairs, but that is a part of Pakistan affairs. In this slide, we're going to talk about what resources you should use Firstly, you should use the Dawn newspaper. At csstutor.pk, our student members get access to important news of the day, which organizes and separates relevant from irrelevant news in Dawn, as shown in the picture. Then you've got the Foreign Affairs magazine, which can also be found at csstutor.pk. The relevant information is available on our website. And lastly, you've got the Diplomat magazine,